Welcome to Le Possessif. This is how we say who things belong to. Here's what the possessive articles look like in English. I'm sure this is familiar. In order to say who things belong to, we use these little words: my, your, his, her, our, their. Those are the little possessive articles that we put in front of those nouns. However, in French, there has to be more than just this. That's because, as we've learned, French nouns have both masculine forms and feminine forms. They also change their form sometimes when they're in front of something that starts with a vowel, and they use a plural form. The possessive article has to match with the item that's being owned. It has nothing to do with the owner. Let's have a look at how this works. We need something to talk about, some examples. So let's use these snacks, les collations. We're going to use a cookie, an apple, an orange, and some chips. Now, why do you think I chose these particular items as our samples? Have a look. The cookie is biscuit, masculine singular item. The apple, pomme, is feminine singular. The orange starts with a vowel. And the chips, les croustilles, are plural. So we have one item from each of those four categories. Let's see how it's used. Let's start really simple. Let's just say these things are my snacks. To say that these snacks are mine, I would simply say my cookie, my apple, my orange, my potato chips. What's it going to sound like if I put it into French? The word mon is used for a masculine singular item, so it's mon biscuit. Ma is used for a feminine singular item, ma pomme. Mon, and that's just the same as the masculine, but it's used in front of, and it doesn't matter if it's masculine or feminine, in front of any word that starts with a vowel, singular, of course. Mon orange. Orange is actually a feminine fruit, but it starts with an O, so therefore it gets mon. And finally, for plural, we'd use mes croustilles. What about if these snacks were yours instead of mine? Actually, the word for your looks very, very familiar. See, they're practically the same. They just start with a T this time. Ton biscuit, your cookie. Ta pomme, your apple. Ton orange, your orange. Tes croustilles, your chips. Fill it in on your chart. Hey, check it out. The words for his or her, they look exactly the same as my and your, except they start with an S. Everything seems to be rhyming. That makes it pretty easy. Fill these in on your chart. So this brings us to our. And so far, things have been pretty easy. They've followed a pretty natural rhyming pattern. However, things mix up a little bit here now that we've gotten into our. With these next three, we've got our, your, plural, meaning like it belongs to all of you, and their. These are the plural versions. And the plural versions don't follow those same patterns. However, there's something even easier about these. The word for our is notre. Notre biscuit, our cookie. Notre pomme, our apple. Notre orange, our orange. Nos croustilles, our chips. Notice how the masculine and feminine and starts with a vowel singular are all the same. There's no separate version for masculine and singular. The only time it changes is if the item is plural. So that's even easier, I'd say. Let's put this one on your chart. Check out the you plural form. It's practically the same as the our form, except the N changed to a V. Kind of like how the N of new changes to a V for vous. Anyway, it's the same idea. Votre biscuit, votre pomme, votre orange, vos crustiles. Flip on over to your chart. Let's add it in. Last but certainly not least is the form for their. Their cookie, their apple, their orange, their chips. This one, it's kind of its own animal. It doesn't rhyme with anything. It doesn't look like anything you've seen before. So it's just a new word that you'd have to learn. It's the word leur. Leur biscuit, leur pomme, leur orange, leur crustile. Notice, just like the other plural forms, it doesn't have a change for masculine and feminine or for those that start with a vowel. The only time it changes is from when it is with a singular item to when it's with a plural item. Okay, last one, and let's finish up that chart. All right, now that you've got this handy chart all filled out, it's time to put it to use. I'm going to give you some items and I'm going to give you some phrases to put together to say who is owning those items. So, what you're going to do is find who's the owner along the vertical column, and then that horizontal column at the top, match the item with the masculine, singular, feminine, starts with a vowel, or plural description. When you match those two up, bringing your fingers together, you're going to find the appropriate article to use. Let's give it a go and then come back, pause the video after you see the statements to do, practice them on your sheet, and then come back to find out how you did. Bonne chance! So this is the vocabulary that you're going to be using. These are the snack items that you're going to be describing. So have a look at what you've got here because you can use this vocabulary coming up.